What I Let's talk about one of my favorite Wizards, Bilal Coulibaly, who formerly played alongside Victor Wembanyama before they got drafted to the NBA. And I'm personally very high on Bilal Coulibaly. I wasn't so sure what to think when the Wizards traded for him on draft night. If you guys don't remember, we had the eighth pick in the 2023 NBA draft. We selected Jarris Walker, and then at number 7, the Pacers selected Bilal Coulibaly, and we did a swap. So we winded up getting Bilal Coulibaly. The Pacers winded up getting Jarris Walker, and I think so far we've won that trade. Jarris Walker did not play a lot for the Pacers this past year, and when he did not play as well or show flashes like Bilal showed flashes. So I'm happy with the trade. Most of the time I'm not happy with the Wizards trade, so that's a relief for once. But, and a lot of people are talking about, Bilal had a really poor showing at the Olympics, but I think we need to give this guy a little bit of breathing room. He literally just turned 20 years old, and he already averaged 8.4 points per game in his rookie year. He played 63 games, played 27 minutes a game, and he shot decent percentages. He shot 43.5% from the field and 34.6% from three. So I thought he was going to be way more raw than that. And he still is very raw, but I think he has the potential to be a very, very, very good player. All-star level potential. And I think it's going to be a combination of him continuing to work on his shot, work on his fundamentals, ball handling, all that. And he also needs to get his weight up a bit, because the Wizards were kind of playing him at 3 and 4, sometimes the 2, but mainly the 3 or the 4. And I think he could do well at the 4 position, but he's 6'7", so he's going to need to be more of a stretch 4. I think a good role model for him to kind of look at would be Scotty Barnes. I think if Bilal Coulibaly can kind of emulate what Scotty Barnes has been able to do, I think he's going to be a really, really good player. But honestly, out of everybody on our roster right now, I really do feel like Bilal has the best chance to be that franchise player. Mainly because he has the ability to, produce on offense while also being a really good defensive player. He has an incredibly long wingspan, and he averaged almost a block a game. Averaged 0.8 blocks per game, 0.9 steals per game. So he just has a knack for the ball, and is going to get a lot of deflections. And he wasn't really turning the ball over that much, 1.4 turnovers per game in 27 minutes. That's pretty decent for a rookie, especially one that, was, kind of labeled as being raw, not a lot of basketball skill, sheer athleticism, that type of guy. He's honestly a lot more skilled than I thought he was going to be. And everyone's giving him shit because, obviously he played with, the Olympic team in Paris, and he didn't have the best showing. He averaged less than 3 points a game during their time there. He played 5 of their 6 games. And, but I do think the good thing to look at is he played the most minutes in the final versus USA and shot 3 for 5 from the field, had 6 points. He had his best showing in that game. And I also don't think it's that alarming, because Rudy Gobert was literally getting benched for Nando De Colo, who I don't think has played in the NBA in 8 years. So, and Rudy Gobert is frankly a lot more established than Bilal Coulibaly. So if Bilal Coulibaly is getting benched, in the Olympics, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's a much bigger deal that he was just on the team, whereas you have Risache, who just got drafted 1st overall, not on the team. Sarr, who just got drafted to the Wizards, number 2 overall, not on the team. Sarr's brother, Olivier, not on the team. So there's a lot of like French players that have NBA experience or NBA G League experience that aren't getting put on this team. You know, you have a lot of French national guys that are just playing in the Euro League elsewhere or playing in other countries and continents. So I think Bilal Coulibaly is going to be really good. You know, I just think it's going to take a while. You know, like I said, he's only 20. He just turned 20, so he's not even going to be 21 until the start of next season, or, 2025-26 season. That's what I'm referring to. And I think it's just going to take a few years. I mean, if you guys remember, like Giannis, when he came into the league, I don't think he averaged double digits his first year. Next year came back, averaged double digits. I think the year after that, averaged like a couple points more, like 4 or 5 points more a game. And then he eventually got up to like be like a 20 to 23 points per game scorer by the time he was in year 4 or 5. And a lot of that was because he put on muscle. He took really good care of his body, took his development seriously, and, played to his strengths, honestly. So, obviously Giannis is still not the best shooter, but he won a championship. So, and he won a championship with him as the main guy. So, Giannis is also a little bit taller than Bilal Coulibaly, but I think Bilal honestly has a little bit more of like a natural, instinct in terms of basketball movement than Giannis showed originally. So, who knows what can happen. I really think that there's a lot of times where teams can pick players that are extremely raw and they pick them solely based on potential and it doesn't pan out. But I have a good feeling about Bilal Coulibaly. And I think he has potential to be a very, very solid player that will develop into an all-star level player within the next 5 to 8 years. Maybe not 8, maybe 5 to 6 years. And I don't know. I typically am not super bold about players specifically, and maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a Wizards fan, but I watched probably 85% of the Wizards games this season, which, yes, was pretty difficult. But Bilal showed a lot of promise. And he showed like determination to, go after loose balls and play good defense. And a lot of rookies come in and they want to make a name for themselves right away, and they have that energy. It's going to be important to see if he comes out this next season and it sticks, and he's still playing with that same level of enthusiasm. Because if he's not, then it's going to be, that's a whole different issue, because you can't really teach motivation and drive and all that stuff. You can preach it, but you can't necessarily teach it and ingrain it into somebody. They have to want to do all those things for themselves. But I think Bilal has that. And I think as long as he keeps himself grounded, and the player development staff over in DC keeps pushing him in the right direction and developing his game to be, very conducive to the body type that he has and impacting the floor on both the offensive and defensive end, I think he's going to be a star. He really is going to be a star. So let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people probably don't even really know about Bilal Coulibaly, because as soon as a player goes to the Wizards, everyone's just like, we'll never hear about him again. But I don't think that's going to be the case with Bilal. He's standing on business. So now we just need the wins to come along, and people will, start paying attention to Bilal Coulibaly. But he's not there yet. He's got some work to do. But being a Wizards fan, we got some time to waste while we continue to get better. And as the team continues to get better, Bilal will continue to get better. In Bilal we trust.